I lost my best friend, and I started to connect the dots between financial planning and mental health. Physical health is the most normalized. When we talk about our mental health, it's highly stigmatized. When we talk about our financial health, it's highly stigmatized. Your self-worth is not equal to your net worth.
Hi, everyone. I am Kristen Goss, founder and owner of KWG Family Legal and Mediation Services. We are your knowledgeable, warm, and gracious attorneys. Please share, like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are Civility Wins, the Family Law Edition. And today I have my friend, my colleague, Renzo Barredo, and I'm going to read a little bit about him. Renzo has been a financial advisor since 2010 and is passionate about helping individuals, families, and business owners build stronger financial futures. What makes Renzo unique is his commitment to what he calls holistic planning, recognizing the powerful connection between financial wellness and mental wellness. After experiencing a personal loss, he became deeply committed to helping others find both financial clarity and emotional peace. Renzo works with 4 primary groups of clients. First, individuals and families who want to build wealth, protect their assets, and improve their financial literacy. Second, investors looking to grow their portfolios through diversified and strategic opportunities. Third, professionals and families preparing for the next chapter of life as they transition into retirement. And fourth, business owners who want to protect their businesses, plan for succession, and create financial strategies for both their company and their families. When he's not helping clients plan for the future, Renzo enjoys playing soccer, traveling, spending time with friends and family, and giving back to his community. And oh gosh, I was going to say I can attest to this, but before, thank you again, Renzo, for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Again, consider you a friend. First and foremost, but also a colleague. And yes, I'll start with that.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So I get a little bit worked up because you and I go way back for like 16 plus years now. Mm-hmm. You knew me before I had children, and now I have 3. And one thing that I can say about you, which is something similar I said about Rick earlier when he and I spoke, is your authenticity. Your honesty, and just what you see is what you get. And from day one, that's what I appreciate the most about you. And it comes across personally, but also professionally in how you help clients. So I really, really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words.
It's my pleasure, and true, for sure. I always like to start off the conversation with why, because we always have a why and why we do what we do. And I know community is important to you, helping others and giving back. So share with the audience a little bit about why you do what you do, how you ended up getting into financial advising.
All right. Well, again, thanks for having me. There's no secret. I mean, it was kind of an accident as to why I got into this business. You leave college, you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life, and then you decide you're going to start interviewing at different places. You get a job offer at a financial institution. You have no idea what you're about to, get yourself into. Fast forward, get licensed and so forth, sit on the phone and still a little bit confused as far as what you're doing. And then all of a sudden, light bulb hits and there's a little bit of clarity. I think it took probably 2 years for me to realize why I was doing this and what this business was truly about. And I think that the reason why that light bulb really turned is probably that personal story of mine that occurred when I lost my best friend. And I started to connect the dots between financial planning and mental health, and started sharing the story of my friend Patrick and hearing all the stories about how people were struggling, not mentally, not just physically, but also financially in different aspects of their life. So now today, fast forward 15, 16 years later, it brings me a lot of joy and comfort to know that I'm really making a difference. At least I feel like I'm making a difference in today's society, just being there for people and lending a helping hand from the financial aspect.
Yeah, and that you definitely do. And you put your all into it. And I can attest because you and I worked together back in the day when, didn't want to do law right away because of my mom and my best friend passing at the time and dad having dementia. So I remember us doing the whole cold calling, the Monday meetings, the Friday meetings, the setting the appointments, working a lot with the teachers. We did the 403Bs and ensuring that they were set up for retirement. And so I want you to share, there are a lot of different aspects, right, in the services that you offer, which can everyone needs your services, from retirement to making a transition such as marriage or divorce. So talk a little bit about that, your ideal clients and how you help, and what makes you different from all those other financial advisors out there.
Yeah, well, I think you said something perfect. I think everybody needs the services of financial planning. I think everybody needs your services. I think it's difficult though from a consumer standpoint slash society standpoint for everyday Americans to understand that they're worthy of getting that type of financial planning service. I think the reason for that is, and this is probably a fault of the industry, that we as an industry have a tendency of looking at or trying to target those who are quote unquote more affluent.
Yeah.
But those who are living their day-to-day lives, the quote unquote blue collar workers of America really need financial planning. Everybody needs some sort of financial planning. So I think some of the things that separate me from the competition, if you could say that, is I think my willingness to do a little bit of work with those individuals, even though it may not be from a business standpoint extremely profitable for me. I think it's important. There's an element of giving back to society that I think is extremely important. And there's one moment in time where a client had sent me an awesome TED Talk about a lady who was speaking. And one quote that I got from it was she told me that your self-worth is not equal to your net worth. And it resonated with me because growing up in the business, living paycheck to paycheck, which a lot of people don't realize,
Yeah, that was
we as
tough. That
financial
was really
advisors,
tough. Yeah.
financial advisors live a very lonely life when they're trying to build their practice. And we're a lot of times we have a lot of debt and we're trying to figure things out and we can't talk about it because who's going to give money to that financial advisor who's really trying to grow their practice and struggling. But, those moments in time when I was in the early stages of my career, I remember looking at the bank account and thinking to myself, I'm a fraud. I'm living this life in a suit and a tie. I'm helping people out, with their finances, but my finances are a mess right now. And I think it's really important for people to understand that, again, your self-worth is not equal to your net worth. So that's an important aspect. And I think the other thing that separates, myself from others is that I understand the whole mental health component. There's a huge emotional component when it comes to financial planning. And I think it's important when we talk holistically, it's not necessarily, in my opinion, about the strategies and products that you can offer, but really, do you have a good sense of humanity? The human aspect of financial planning. Can you have those hard conversations with a husband and wife, a business owner and their partner, someone who just was recently divorced, someone who lost their loved one, Can you have those hard conversations? Can you get to know that individual? Can you understand what they're trying to accomplish? And if you can identify those things and really dig in deep, you can really help people out and make a big difference. So those are a couple of things that I would say probably differentiate me from the rest of my colleagues.
And I happen to agree. You mentioned mental health, and I know that's huge with you. Share a little bit about how that plays into what you do with financial advising.
Huge component. I mean, statistically, we can look at it. One of the top reasons for divorce, one of the top reasons for suicide in our society. This month, June, is Mental Health Awareness Month for men. Over 50% of men feel pressure in the household to be able to have to take the lead when it comes to finances. And I don't say that because a lot of times the spouses, the females are the breadwinners, but men, for some reason, I think traditionally have just taken on the responsibility of being the leader, if you will, financially. So there's a huge component. I think now social media brings in another component of complexity.
Yeah.
Where everybody's kind of comparing themselves. And I think the torture that we all play, the internal battles that we all have, the negative self-talk that we all experience, I think is very real and I think needs to be spoken about in the financial planning space. I deal with it too as a financial advisor. I need guidance as a financial advisor from a peer of mine. It's really important. So it's a huge aspect of mental health and financial planning. And I always tell people, if you look at financial health, mental health, and physical health, physical health is the most normalized right now.
Yeah.
I want to lose weight. I was just talking about it. I want to lose weight.
Yeah.
I've got to eat healthy. I've got to go to the gym, get exercise. When we talk about our mental health, it's highly stigmatized. When we talk about our financial health, it's highly stigmatized. So what can we do to kind of bridge the gap between the three and normalize the conversation?
I love it. It's definitely necessary. And I think having you as their financial advisor is a plus because you help so many people. start to open up and have those conversations that I think most people would find difficult, but that are necessary and are helpful in the long run.
For
So
sure.
I really appreciate that about you. You're not a father, right, biologically,
Correct.
but in honor of Father's Day, talk a little bit about you as a son and also you being a mentor, because you are a mentor to so many out there, and so many people out there need mentors like you. So share a little bit about that with the audience.
Well, you caught me off guard with the son part. As a son, I look back at my childhood. I'm forever grateful for my father. Tremendous role model. Both my parents are, but tremendous role model. And as you get older, you start to realize that everything that he once said to me, as annoying as it was, is so true. And then fast forward today, even though I don't have children of my own, I think it's important for me to be able to give back, whether that's mentorship with some of my friends' children's, whether that's being a part of the Weston YMCA. At one part I was on the board and leading a teen group, whether that's bringing up our younger advisors at the firm and kind of, coaching them as far as like my experiences in the business. As we grow older and older, as we go through our journey of life, it's a mental health battle. And I always have explained this, and this is my honest opinion. When you talk about things like suicide prevention or mental health, it's from the moment that you're born, in my opinion, to the moment that you pass away, how you deal with obstacles. So I feel very passionate about having the opportunity or capitalizing on an opportunity to be able to mentor our younger generations, to be able to empower them, educate them, so they can be resilient, strong, resilient, valuable members of society, and then pass the baton on for generations to come on.
Yeah. We all need love, right?
100%.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. That's really admirable, and I'm not surprised that that's something that you do. Speaking of mental health and upcoming projects, is there anything that you want to share with the audience that is coming up that you want them to know about?
Yeah, no, I think, so for the last 8-9 years, I lose track now, I'm part of a mental health wellness summit. And I'll be posting about that on my social media. That's coming up in October. It's a great day where we can all get together, different walks of life, not just in the mental health industry, but professions like mine, like yours, and so forth, and have a day to give back to ourselves and to lend a helping hand to our peers and to help normalize the conversation of mental health. So I've been fortunate to be part of this committee from the inception, and throughout the years had an opportunity to talk about mental health and financial health, be able to talk a little bit about my story about losing my best friend. So that's one big project that I work along with Beth Taché, my girlfriend, co-chair with the committee and so forth. So I wouldn't say I play a huge role, but it's something that I dabble in. And the one thing that I do want to say to the audience is you've got to really be able to take a step back and work on your own mental health. I used to be extremely involved in the community, and I had to take a step back, and sometimes I feel guilty, but you have to do it because in order to give back to others, you have to also give back to yourself. So, and I think it's a very important message.
So true. So true. If we are not well, we can't be there for others that we love
Very
so
true.
much. So
100%.
takes a lot, right? Especially when you're always concerned with other people, what's going on, and you're a giver. But what you said is very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure.
Renzo, oh my gosh. Okay. So if somebody wants to, wants your services, they want to learn a little bit more about who you are, share with the audience where they can go to find out more information.
Yeah, so you can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook as well. Send me a message if you just want to sit and chat and have a conversation. No pressure at all. I'm there to be able to help the community whichever way I can. If it's on the mental health side, to be able to direct, services that we have here in Broward County. If it's on the financial health side, by all means, I'm here to help. And if there's any other side that I can help, I'll do my very best.
Yeah, and we work together a lot, in the family law arena. What you do is crucial, right? It's emotional, it's financial, all the things, not just legal. So appreciate you again, my friend. Thank you for coming on, and looking forward to, doing future collaborations. I'm sponsoring the event. So I will be putting out information also to get other sponsors to join. Mental health, again, is extremely crucial. It's extremely important. And we care. So we want, all of the world to be a better place. So if we are okay, then again, we can be there for other people. So that is it. Another episode of Civility Wins, the Family Law Edition. Again, I am Kristen Goss, your host, founder and owner of KWG, Family Legal and Mediation Services. We are your knowledgeable, warm, and gracious attorneys. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, take care.